the purpose was one simple statement. Do you think all these views actually lead to creating shared value? And does shared value picture look like this of what we have spoken? Has innovation got a space in shared value mechanism, and how?
Wow. No, absolutely. And just to share our story, most of you won't know of Lixil. Most people in Japan don't know of Lixil. But we're actually a $16 billion company with over 80,000 employees. We're not known overseas yet, but one way that we intend to be known is through building a brand of meaning. And my mission is to ensure that that's based on what we're calling CSV at the moment, creating shared value. Before I get to answering your question, one of the reasons actually we came up with CSV is because I actually didn't want it to be called CSR. I actually do not like the word CSR. So if we're going to have a conference again, I'd strongly suggest changing the name, because I think we're missing a massive opportunity. Well, I think everybody's got very different ideas of what CSR is. When I joined Lixil 2.5 years ago, I was thrown into brand and CSR. I didn't have a background in it, but I was very excited because I'd experienced Standard Charter's Seeing is Believing campaign, and I was very moved by it. But the CSR in Lixil at the time was very much focused on the environmental side, and it was governance. And I thought, this is a massive company, and we just have a lot of auditors crunching data about the environment, which is very important, but it is what it is. It's responsibility. Of course we're responsible. How many of you out there want to be irresponsible companies? Nobody does. So I think we should at least change, sitting here listening to the last 2 days, my first thing is let's change CSR to at least CSO, which is corporate social opportunity, because that's what we're all talking about. We're talking about opportunities. And I think to get us there, to answer your question, we do need innovation. And it's just because there are problems which haven't been solved. So if we don't solve them, it doesn't have to be new innovation, as my colleague has said. It could be going back to basics. It could just be another way around things. Just to give you an example, Lixil has joined what's called my Ecolu colleagues over there, but something called the Toilet Board Coalition. And it was launched last year on World Toilet Day. And it is Lixil, which is a toilet maker, Unilever, which is the detergent maker, and it's Kimberly-Clark, which is the toilet paper maker, and Firmenich are the current 4 main companies, and they're a odor, either control or perfume maker company. And we are collaborating on an innovation together, because we realize if we can put us all together in the innovation stage, we are likely to understand much better. I mean, we can make toilets which are odorless, which are waterless, but how are we going to clean them? So if we want to make them, eco-friendly, really eco-friendly, have organic fertilizer from them, then we need to be talking to Unilever now about make us a detergent that adds to the organic process. Make us, Kimberly-Clark, make us a toilet paper which adds to the composting process. So I think that's a great example of how corporates could come together, but we also have funders in the organization as well. So if we're looking for entrepreneurs in the area to come forward with a good business model that can take to scale, and we'll also support from a technology perspective or from a business consulting perspective, because all of us, we want to see more toilets in the environment for that area. So to get to creating shared value, I think a lot of places aren't there yet, so we do need innovation. But again, it's just for corporates going forward, let's say that CSR is a given. Let's say sustainability is a given. Because again, who wants to set up a company that's going to be out of business in 3 or 4 years because it's used up all of its resources, or it's burnt all of its wood products or whatever. I mean, again, nobody's going down that route. But to really, I think, stand out as a company should be looking at what real value can give to the organization. So again, from my perspective, even though Lixil is much, much more than toilets, we're about all of the household products, apart from the cement of the walls. When I looked at what Lixil could do, high on the social agenda obviously was toilets. We bought American Standard, we bought GrowAir, we're now the biggest company worldwide for plumbing fixtures and fittings. So it was natural that we should look at the toilet situation. But for me, the way to really push a company like Lixil, which is huge, but is looking at the high-end market, the only way to get them long-term to support this social innovation is to make a business out of it. So I actually have the budget, not R&D. I have the budget to create the new toilet for the urban poor. I have the budget for that. But within a year, I need to prove to the company that it's a true business. And once it's a true business, we're not talking about sustainability. I mean, sustainability is a sustainable business. It will become part of the business portfolio within the business unit. Sure. And then we're just making good products for good business, but creating good in the environment. So again, it's relatively, it sounds simple. It's much more difficult than that, but it does need innovation.